Okay, here's the deal. We gotta break into this house, and all we have to do is steal this one VHS tape.
Which one is it?
I don't know, man. Let's just look at this tape.
What's so special about this tape anyway?
What the fuck was that?
You're all gonna fucking die up here.
Every time you say VHS, I think UHF with Weird Al.
UHF. Oh, I would love to have seen him in this movie. I'm here today to talk about VHS, a found footage anthology, which is a very interesting combination because we are living in an era of film in which you cannot go a single year without at least, I'd say about at least three found footage films coming out. And yet we have not seen a good anthology of horror films in a long time. Like Trick or Treat was good, that came out a couple years ago, but then before that, you gotta go back years to find the last good anthology. I'm Aaron, I'm being joined by Michelle.
Hello.
And Jackson.
Yo!
And today, as I said, VHS, it came out in very limited release. I think it only came out in 15 theaters across the country. However, they're doing something that a lot of other theaters have been doing with their movies recently, which is that they are releasing it on demand. They, in fact, even released this on demand before it came out in theaters. You could watch it then for an inflated price, or you could do like me and wait till it came out in theaters and then watch it at home on demand for the same price as a movie ticket. And honestly, to me, that is the best way to watch this film, because normally I would never do that, because with any movie, I want to go to the theater and I want to see it on the big screen, there with with that feeling, with that atmosphere of being around other people. However, I actually am somewhat of a fan of the found footage films, at least when they are done well. And with found footage films, those are ones in which I can't watch them in theaters because A, motion sickness is terrible for found footage films in theaters, but also because when you watch a found footage film, you want to feel like you actually found footage. You want to feel like you're watching something that, is an actual, tape that you found, belonging to someone else, you don't know what's on it, you're in for a surprise, and you don't get that feeling when you go to the cinema. So VHS is the perfect film to release on demand. And, as I said, it's an anthology. And what the film is about, it's about these 5 guys who get hired to go and steal back this videotape that was stolen from their mysterious employer. And they get to the house of the guy who stole it. And when they get there, they suddenly discover the guy who owns the house is dead. And the problem is, the entire house is filled with videotapes. And each of them have a different found footage short on there. So they have to go through these tapes, watch through them to try and find the one that they're looking for. And of course, they're filming themselves doing this as well. So, yes. So this is in and of itself a found footage film.
Do you see them watch the films on their TV through their camcorder?
No. What it is that they
that would have been interesting.
That would have made me motion sick even sitting at home.
Just halfway through the film, someone turns to him and is like, "Shut up, Steve!"
You're at the most suspenseful point. And you hear down in front.
If they're trying to do a genuine horror film with a legitimate in-universe reason for why the characters are MST3K'ing it, that would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be so good. I remember, years ago when I was working for a film festival, we actually got a screener from some college student who had made a student film, and the student film was so crappy that he tried to figure out a way to salvage it. So he got all of his buddies there together, and he made a film about him and his buddies trying to watch his film before he presented to his professors, and they were just sitting there in the front row, MST3K'ing it in a handheld shaky cam. And that was so much better than the film itself than the film he tried to make. But yeah, but the film is, yes, they do film themselves as they go into the house to break in.
That's a bit disappointing. Couldn't they not have just done some of it normal style and then gone into found footage?
It would have been, it ruins, one of the jumps, kind of, one of the scares that would come. It kind of needs to be done like that. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, do all, found footage, movies have to be completely found footage, or...
Well, oh shit, what was it? The Last Exorcism, which came out a few years ago. That one was actually supposed to be like a documentary that someone was making, and it just turned into a found footage film. So the entire thing looked like an actual documentary. It was actually had like music in the background, actually had like dissolves and, you know, voiceovers and stuff like that, and then it like just turned into a complete found footage. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like I absolutely love Chronicle, but yeah, at the end of that movie, I was like, this doesn't feel like a found footage film anymore to me. This just films this. I mean, I love the end of Chronicle, but yeah, it's like it was almost like the directors to me just went, you know what? I have no idea how to turn this into a found footage. Keep it. This is a found footage film, but who cares at this point? It's so good.
I don't get that. I don't feel like I have to believe that it was a real thing and edited together. It just means you are looking through things in the world. Whether it was actually edited together by someone, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care about, you know, like how the film, like, unless it was like Cloverfield. Cloverfield was one of the few ones I actually cared about because, you know, they like actually try to place in there like hints of who found this, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, when they actually make it part of the film.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it. That's what we mean.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, speaking of VHS, this is kind of the movie that I've always wanted. I have always wanted to see the found footage film about the guy who finds the found footage. And then, of course, and VHS came out, and then, like, a week after that, Sinister came out, which is also about the guy who finds the found footage film. So it pisses me off, because now 2 movies took my idea before I had a chance to write it. Oh, I knew I should have copywrote that shit. I should have mailed that to myself. Anyway.
Mail it to yourself in the future.
That makes no sense. Yeah, edit that out. Alright.
What?
I just got back. Were you high before I got here? Why are all the peanut butter Snickers gone? Okay. Anyway. That's a stoner joke, kids. Alright. But yeah, when it comes to an anthology, what you have to do is that you have to kind of judge it 2 ways. One, you have to judge how well it comes together as a film itself, how it all merges together. And you also kind of have to judge each piece individually. So I'm going to try and do both those. First off, the wraparound. The wraparound, as I said, it's about these guys who go to find this found footage tape, but you get to see the guys before they go in. And the guys are the biggest dumbass douchebags you can imagine. The film actually opens with them following a woman in a parking lot, then running up to the woman, grabbing her and lifting her shirt up to show her tits to the camera. And then after that, it's them going into an abandoned building and just beating the shit out of the lights, breaking all the windows. And I understand why they're doing this, because, yeah, it's a horror film. These guys aren't gonna live. And filmmakers love to do this because they believe that if you hate the characters and don't like them, you won't be upset when they die. No, that's not the point of a film. That's not the point of having an emotional connection to a film. You want to feel something when they're in trouble. You want to feel bad for them when they're in trouble. That's why you get tense. You know, like I've mentioned with Paranormal Activity in the past, I kind of felt bad for the girl in that situation, but the guy, I couldn't wait for the demon to eat his ass. Because he was a douchebag. And this entire, the entire wraparound segment is nothing but douchebags. But I kind of understand the other reasoning behind why they had to be douchebags, because when you think about it, these guys are going to commit a crime. Breaking into someone's house to steal a videotape. And they're decided to film themselves doing it. So I understand the filmmakers just going, well, who else? Well, who would commit a crime and film themselves doing it? Dumbasses. That's who. So, but to me, that just kind of feels like lazy. I feel like if they had been more creative, they could have come up with a reason why nice guys, why good people would have gone to steal this videotape back for someone who hires them on Craigslist, and why they would film themselves doing it. Like, I feel like...
Is there, like, the one guy who's just like, no, come on, guys, do we have to do this,
No,
guys?
not
I
at all.
don't want to, because that would ruin it.
No, they're total
Exactly.
assholes. In fact, there was a moment right before they go to do the job, they film themselves watching the film of them lifting up the girl's shirt. And one of the guys actually goes, okay, next time, this is going to sound weird, but next time, what if we lift up the skirt? And it's like, that's an actual line of dialogue. And then, like, the film keeps, like, splicing back and forth between the guys just committing felonies and one of the guys using a camera to film a woman he's going to have sex with without her knowledge. And it cuts back and forth to that a couple of times, but that never comes up. There is no importance to that at all. It made me think of Cloverfield, back when they kept splicing back and forth to him with his girlfriend and them out having fun. But there was point to that. The point to that was to show, like, you know, the backstory there and to make us realize the emotional connection they had. There's no reasoning to that. So yeah, the wraparound to this is terrible, except there is one pretty good scare in there. And the weird thing is, I knew the scare was coming like 20 minutes before it happened. Like 20 minutes before it happened, I knew it was coming. And yet it's still kind of done pretty well, and I liked it.
Well, that's better than having it like 2 minutes before it happens. If you can see it coming that early, that's almost... Because you kind of will think, wait, maybe it's not going to happen. And I think 20 minutes is a good amount of time
That,
to
and also,
fake you
like,
out.
it happens like right after it gets back from one of the anthology shorts, so I had completely forgotten about it. They do it at the exact right time. And I even knew that's when they would wait to do it. But still, I had lost myself in that short anthology, so when it comes back, I wasn't even thinking about it. So they did that pretty well. But yeah, then it goes into the first of the anthology shorts. And the first one is about a bunch of douchebag, stupid fratty boys who decide that they're going to use a hidden camera in glasses to film themselves having sex with women. Are you sensing a theme here? This was...
Is that... What... Did they not know there are other kinds of people in this
Yes,
world?
and that is my big problem with how this film comes together. You get no sense that there was anybody, when this film was made, there was anybody who proofread all the scripts before they decided to start shooting. You got the feeling that they took these 5 directors and 5 writers, gave them their cameras and went, go out there, make your own thing, and then we'll put it together, not thinking for once... Yeah, we should check and make sure nobody's doing the exact same thing, because there's the wraparound and then there's the 5 shorts, and in 2 of the shorts it's got kind of a group of douchebaggy fratty guys, and in 4 of the shorts the guy holding the camera at some point uses it to try and film a woman with her shirt off or try and film a woman's breast. And it gets so... It's like, don't get me wrong, if you did that in 1 of them, I'd go like, alright, yeah, 1 out of 5 guys probably would use a camera to do that. Fine. Alright, I'll give you that. But 4 out of 5, that's just unoriginal, and that's just boring at a point. Boring, stupid, lazy is what it is. But the first of the shorts, it's the douchebag fratty guys, and I mentioned that the last guys were douchebags. These guys... Half the dialogue in this short is woo! Woo!
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it is them going out to parties. I mean, like, you can't even, like, it's drunk talk, it's, you know, stumbling around, it's wooing constantly, and oh man, I was not liking it. Up until the final bit. The final bit is actually fairly decent when the scares come in, and it's about these, and, you know, the guy basically ends up picking up a girl at a bar, who, there's just something not right with the girl. Like, she's got kind of a big line going down the middle of her forehead, and she's got giant eyes. Like, which I kind of hate saying that, because the line was a special effect. The eyes were not special effects. So I kind of hate pointing that out, because I feel bad for the actress, except that is kind of one of the reasons they picked her for that role. Like, you can tell they basically went, you got creepy eyes, you are perfect for this part. But yeah, something is not right with her. She can only say, I like you. That's the only bit of dialogue she can say. So clearly something is not going to go right, and yeah, something does not go right. And, by the way, let me also point out, there's a lot of man junk in this part. So, to any woman out there who's getting offended by all the breasts in here, which you should get offended by all the breasts in here, there is at least some guy equality at points in this first bit.
Were you offended by the man junk?
No, because actually I was, just watching it kind of going, this guy is like, it's weird, because the guy is naked, but he's also scared and screaming and, like, cowering and running around and
how women are usually portrayed in horror movies.
Oh, shit.
Shots fired!
Door has been opened. Revelation time.
Sounds like everyone can be equally offended throughout.
Yes.
So there's no discrimination at
Well,
least.
now the thing is, once again, this is one of those parts. I know I just said no. You can make a film where you don't, where you know you want to feel bad for the guys. Seeing this guy who is a total douchebag now naked and quivering and scared, it kind of made me go, I actually feel good about this. I'm actually happy for this. Once again, not worth the douchebaggery that came before it, but yeah. And also, so yeah, it gets kind of good there at the final bit of it, and the last, 10 seconds, the last shot of that one is really good. I really like that one. But it does not make up for the total frattiness of what came before it. Second short was actually directed by the guy who did Innkeepers, which 2 weeks ago on the podcast, I actually spoke very highly of that movie, of Innkeepers. And I said, this guy, hey, the movie's really boring. It's got long stretches of just boring stuff where nothing has happened, but the scary parts are so well done that this guy has got a bright future in horror. I watched this part of the film, and I went, wow, it's just like Innkeepers if you took all the scary parts out and only left out in there the long stretches of boring shit in which nothing happens. It's about two newlyweds on their honeymoon, and the guy trying to use the camera to take a picture of his fiancée without her shirt on, which, it's your fiancée. You can see her with her shirt off anytime. Why do you need the videotape for this? I don't know. Avoiding that. But all of a sudden, somebody shows up at their door late one night asking for a ride, and they decide, no, we're not going to do it, we'll leave that alone. And then, all of a sudden, you see this in the trailers, so this is not a spoiler for anybody who's seen the trailer, but, at night, when both of them are asleep, the video camera comes on and just starts filming the both of them, and you're wondering who the heck is doing it, or at least you would be if you didn't have a brain of common sense, and you realized, oh, it's the creepy girl who wanted the ride. And it's really boring. Nothing really happens in it. The only thing I can really say about it is the very ending of it made me laugh out loud. But I don't think it was supposed to be funny. It's just, it was so stupid and weird and out of nowhere for no explanation at all that I just couldn't help but laugh at it. But, so yeah, I have to give it some points for that, except I don't think they were trying to make me do that. So yeah, so far, I'm not gonna lie, it's halfway into the movie at this point, and I'm regretting every cent that I paid to watch this thing. I am really hating it. It gets up to the third part, and that's when it starts to kick in. The third part is actually good. The third part is about a group of friends who go into the woods to one of theirs, cabins, whatever. They were going there for some reason. Doesn't matter. It's for a trip. A couple of college kids going in, videotaping the whole thing, and then the girl who invited them revealed that some murders happened there a little while ago, and she was the only survivor. And I'm not going to reveal what comes after that, but the killer from back then ends up coming back, except the killer from then is not like an actual killer. They find a way to do something supernatural with this third part that you could not do without found footage. I give the third part of this so much credit because they actually thought of a reason that a horror film has to be found footage. Like, they thought of a monster that you can only, that you have to have the camera to encounter.
Well,
and it was really creative. And they use special effects to make the monster appear. And it's very simple special effects, but it looks so cool. And I gotta give them credit for that. So that one got me back in. I was really enjoying it. Fourth one, this one's important to talk about because Paranormal Activity 4 is coming out this weekend, and they totally ripped it off from this movie. The fourth one is a guy having a Skype conversation with his girlfriend.
How did he get that onto a VHS tape?
I was trying to figure out the same thing. This guy had to have a VHS tape set up to his, high-definition TV and have a dazzle hooked up from his laptop into his computer while he was doing the whole thing and record the whole conversation. Yeah, there's no way he could get that onto a VHS tape. I was trying to figure that out myself.
Unless there's another closet in this old man's house full of DVDs, and then you realise he's just spent all his days putting in the DVDs to a TV and recording VHS of that TV. Craziest old man ever.
I collect videotapes of teenagers dying, and I convert them
He's
to
a
older
hipster
formats.
He's a hipster old man. He only watches movies on VHS and only listens to music on records.
This doesn't work unless it's in an analog style.
What a lovely, lovely analog style.
Why is Bane watching all these teenagers die?
That makes
When
a lot
you-
of sense.
When you've gotten the girl to take her shirt off, then you have my permission to die.
Can I just have a quick thing? What are the names for all these frat boys? Can we have a quick guess the frat boys'
man, I
names?
got. Oh god,
Is one of them called? All right. Let's start obvious. One of them's called Josh, right? Any Joshes?
Oh, let's see. I'm going and checking it right now.
Was it a douchebag name game or something?
Let's see. You said
Yeah,
Josh.
this is guess the douchebag name game.
I'm not seeing a Josh. Let me try IMDb because this only covers about half the guys in there.
Okay, I'll go through.
Okay, here we go. All right, I got VH.
Is it like a Scott or Zach or something? Or...
There is a Zach with no
bingo.
C. ZAK.
so much perfect. So much perfect.
Oh god.
Zach with a K. Oh, I'm looking at that. Oh, there's a Tyler. There's a Tyler. That's perfect. One of them is called Hot Ass Girl Number 1.
Oh god, that had to have been. That must have been from the camera, the eyeglass camera one. Must have been one of the random chicks that they pick up at the bar.
I don't know, but she's credited as Hot Ass Girl Number 1. Imagine coming home being like, oh yeah, got cast in a film. Oh, what'd you get, hun? Hot Ass Girl Number 1.
Not just hot girl, not girl number 1, not hot girl, hot ass girl number 1.
It's like, oh, well, yeah, it's better than Hot Ass Girl Number 2.
I'm just trying to figure out who. Yeah, that's the girl who was good, but not good enough to be hot ass girl number 1.
It's like
I'm
her
trying to-
ass was hot, but not quite the rest of her.
Better than Butterface girl number 1. Oh, jeez. But okay, I'm trying to figure out who Spider was in there. There was a guy named Spider.
There's a guy named Spider! Oh my god, was this
Are you sure you
directed-
didn't play a spider?
No, there's no Spider in there.
Is this just directed and written by stupid frat boys as well?
Sad thing is, it gives me that impression.
Because they don't understand anything else.
Yeah, but alright, the fourth part of the film, it's the Skype conversation, and the guy is trying to comfort his girlfriend. His girlfriend, it's clear that she has some kind of like mental problem. Not mental like, she needs supervision or anything, but mental as in like she's had like some kind of a breakdown in the past and she has to take medication. And she believes that her house is haunted. She just moved into this new apartment, she believes it's haunted. And then, yeah, you start seeing haunted stuff happen. You start seeing, like, little kids running behind her. And it's pretty freaky, actually. Especially, like, it makes you think, like, well, yeah, what if you were in that situation? You have to call, you have to see this happening to your girlfriend. And you're just some little guy in a box down the corner. You can't do anything. So, yeah, I really like that, except that it has an ending that just made me go, what the fuck is this? Like, it made no sense. Like, it didn't explain anything, and I was trying to turn on, like, subtitles to figure out what they were saying, and you can't really make out heads or tails where they were trying to go with it. But it's good up until that point. And then, of course, the final one. The final segment, that's the one where they knock it out of the park. Because first off, yeah, it's a group of four guys, and I was going, oh god, don't let it be douchebag Friday guys again. And they're not. They're like grown-ups. They're acting kind of like adults in this, and they're acting kind of like likable adults, which made me care for them. And they are going to a Halloween party, and this guy has turned his house into a haunted house. Except that they kind of get lost on the way there, and they find what they think is the house. And they go in there, and turns out it's an actual haunted house, except they're walking around going, God damn, these special effects are good. Did you just see that chair move? That's pretty impressive. Oh, how'd they make the little girl's reflection appear in the mirror when she's not actually standing behind me? How'd they make that happen? That's pretty cool. Except then they actually find out, oh shit, this stuff is real, but it's after they've gotten so far into the house that now they have to run out of the house. And I mean, you are watching that, like, and it is tense, them trying to get out of there. Like, there are moments where they're, like, reaching for the door and the doorknob just disappears. And, like, windows are shutting on themselves, but not, like, shutting. I mean, like, the wall is shrinking to make the window disappear. And, like, hands are reaching out. There's birds flying everywhere. They must have, like, saved up for years to make this. Like, most found footage films, you could film on a dime. Like, if you make a found footage film and one person goes to see it and he accidentally drops his wallet on the floor on the way out, you made your budget back.
Yeah.
This is an actual, shows what you can do with found footage if you have a budget. And I mean, it is really impressive. And I mean, I absolutely love where it ends. And yeah, you actually, I don't even know the characters' names, but I was going, yeah, these are characters that you can actually look at and go, they're not assholes. I don't want them to die. I want them to escape and live. like, I want to give this movie so many negative remarks. And I've given it negative remarks throughout this. However, when it ends on something that strong, it leaves you on a high note. In fact, this film actually premiered, I think it was at Sundance. And originally, the movie ended with the end of the wraparound, but people loved this one so much that when they finally released this in theaters, they changed it so that the wraparound ends, and then after that, it goes into this final bit, because they wanted people to leave with this, and it works. It leaves me on such a higher note as I was walking out of there. So this is one of those films in which you can actually get on demand for like $8. I don't know if it's good enough for me to really recommend it to people who aren't the biggest horror fans out there. Based on that. However, the great thing about on demand is, $8 is about what a regular movie ticket cost. You could call up 3 of your buddies who are also big horror fans. Tell them to come over, tell each of them to just pay up $2, and then each of you just pay $2 to watch this film. And then, yeah, that's a perfect price to pay for that. For everybody else out there, it's a film that I totally recommend watching, but I'd say there's nothing wrong with waiting a year for it to come out on DVD and then renting it for $1 and then just skipping past those first segments just to see the third, fourth, and fifth segments, because those are the ones that are totally worth watching for. So, yeah, in the end, the wraparound, D+, first segment, D+, second segment, D+. I hate doing that to the guy who did Innkeeper, but yeah, D+. And then it goes up to B-, C+, and A-. It leaves you on such a high note. So the whole thing averages out to a C+, but yeah, solid 3 stars by screen format. But yeah, if you dig the found footage franchise, the found footage style of filmmaking, this is one that is totally worth picking up when it comes out on DVD. Not picking up as in buying, but as in renting. So.
Is there a VHS version?
How are they not? I've actually been wondering about that. Seriously, if they do not actually put out a VHS copy of this, that is such a missed opportunity.
I like the way that the film's called VHS and it was being all innovative with the formats it's using.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's VHS and there's a Skype segment on there. It's
VHS, it's Skype section. You can only get it on demand. What do you know?
Alright.
Are they making a sequel called DVD?
You know what? I really hope that they do make a sequel because, yeah, I was watching this film going, this is the film I've wanted to see. First off, found footage is perfect for anthology format because, yeah, found footage is one of those things in which if it lasts more than 15 minutes, you go, okay, I'm calling bullshit. But yeah, a bunch of found footage shorts together work really well. And also, like I said, they dropped the ball so much there in the beginning. It is such a disgrace there in the beginning that I kept going, someone could have done such a better job with this. It could have been so much better. So I watched this and go, please let there be a sequel. And please let you learn from your mistakes on this one. So I'm hoping that there is a sequel, and that's called Beta.
So VHS, Beta, DVD, and then Blu-ray?
On-demand Blu-ray.
I want a audio-only version called a mini disc.
I like you.